Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. I'm getting a little late start on this, but I wanted to show you what I was doing and how I was adding detail and modifying the Kato Roundhouse. I got it here on the desk and I've already done some of the stuff, but we're going to cover what I did or what I have done so far in my ideas. Because someone along the way, and I apologize for not remembering who, asked me exactly how I was going to do it. So I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do it. Okay, the first thing that you notice when you get one of these roundhouses is that it does not have any doors. So I figured I needed to make some doors. So these are what I have come up with. And I'll explain how I did these. I used 2050 V-groove, 50 thousandths of an inch spacing and 20 thousandths inch thick. And what I did is I cut two pieces for each door and laminated one front and back. So I'm not sure if I can get this on camera. You can see that it's got the V-groove siding on the inside and the outside. Then I just decided to go with one brace in each door. There are an odd number of spacing on the doors, which didn't bother me because I'm going to have them open anyway. But they're going to be they're going to be open all the time. So anyway, this is how they go. You know, the brace goes down to a V in the center. And they're going to be glued, they're just going to be glued in there open. Another thing is, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to have to add some glass over the top here. I don't like the fact that it's just open. I don't have any problem really with the roof and the smokestacks. I think I'm probably going to leave it that way unless I can come up with a better idea. I would have liked to have found some kind of a large vent to go in the middle of each one of these. But I'm okay with the way it is. Another thing I've decided to do is, since it looks like it's a poured concrete structure, I'm going to stucco the whole thing. Because then you wouldn't know whether it was originally brick and then stuccoed over, which is what Santa Fe used to do quite often. And that's the way I'm going to finish the outside. Now let's take a look inside. Okay, and here's what I decided to do the inside. There's not a whole lot that I want to do to the inside. I did put these beams in. As far as I'm concerned, I'm okay with a concrete pillar. Just the way it is, the way it's designed. I did put some beams along the side. These beams in the corner are glued to the structure. The beams in between are glued to the glass because the glass comes out in one piece, like so. And I have the windows taped off because I intend on painting it the same color as the interior of the building. So that when you put this in there, it will look like the interior of the building and not a big piece of glass. That's why all the windows are taped up. When I paint the outside or stucco the outside, I'm going to, which is what I'm going to do. I don't know if I said that already, but anyway, I'm going to, it's a concrete building and I'm going to stucco the outside of it. But anyway, if I get real close here, you can see that I've scribed these beams with a razor saw. So when I get done painting the inside with some kind of gray color, and I'm going to wash that down with a real heavy wash of black, then I'm going to paint the beams brown and wash them down with black. So it's going to be relatively dark inside with the exception of the LEDs. Lighting up the inside. Then I'll put some detail in there, and to get to the detail, hang on one second. Oh, by the way, the beams in there were created out of 0.066 by whatever the heck that says, 0.112, which is actually an HO6 by 10, which makes it about a 12 by 20 beam. But anyways, while I was doing that, I had this idea to make some little workbenches. So these little workbenches will go inside there. Plus I already have a lot of details torches, other benches, storage bins, that kind of stuff that can go inside. The window frames are probably going to remain like they are. What I will probably do is paint some of the window panes like they were broken, as they used to do in the old days. It'll have some, they used to use whatever glass they had laying around. Some of it may be white, some of it may be green. You know, whatever they had laying around, that's what they put in the house. So I'll have some replaced glass panes there. Aside from that, that's about it. The roof itself, I don't have any problem with the roof. I may put just a couple of more small vents in it. I'm okay with the way it looks. Of course, I'll paint it. And probably put the stucco color on these ribs going down the centers and the trim. But aside from that, we'll see how it looks as I progress along. But that's what I've got so far. Okay, gang, this is what I have so far. I painted the base with kind of a concrete gray color. I did some stuccoing here, but let me take you, before we get into the roof, let me take you over to the building. Okay, the inside of the building I painted kind of a real light gray, almost a white gray. I figured that would probably be something they would consider for the inside of a roundhouse. Now, what I did here is I mixed up some of this, which is pebble, the color pebble, with Arizona Rock Cajon Sandstone powder, and stuccoed it. This is 2 coats of the stucco mix, and basically I just took the acrylic paint, poured it in a little container, poured in about a 60-40, 40% being the powder into it, put just a thimbleful of water in it, stirred it up, and then started applying to the structure. And I'll come around. I don't know if this is a little too bright or not, but anyway, I like the texture. I like the texture on it so far. Give you a close look at it. What I found in the past is I have to go around the window frames and make sure that I don't have the stucco material inside the window frame, make sure the windows fit. Like I say, these beams will be painted. I'll show you that later on. The beams inside will be painted. The floor will be painted a concrete color, a more dark concrete color. Now let me take you over and show you the roof. Okay, I started by painting the inside of the roof with flat black, as I always do on the inside of buildings. Now the top, or the roof, it had trim along here that should have been stuccoed as well. So I went ahead and stuccoed that, stuccoed the pieces in between, which will look good from the outside, don't really have any meaning on the inside. And then I got to thinking to myself, you know, if I just take a thin wash of that, it'll give some texture to the tar paper on the top. So I took and I thinned it out, really thinned it out, and kept stirring it and then putting on just washing on the stucco mix on top of here. Now, I realize it looks like stucco on top of there now. Now, if I paint over that with black inside of these sections, the tar paper should look pretty darn good. Then I can rust up and paint my vents, and I think that'll look pretty good in there. As far as the base goes here, I don't know if anything else will be done to it, because in reality the building just sits on that, and all it shows is just this outer very edge, and even the scenery will be up next to that. Okay, now we can come over here. You can see that I painted the inside as I said I was going to do. So when I put these windows in, it'll look exactly the same color as the wall inside, and these beams will be painted. These are the back windows, and let me just peel the tape off. I'm dying to see how the windows turned out, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, everybody, here's a test fit of the windows. You can see that that all came out pretty well. Now all I got to do is get the beams painted and get the windows put in these upper areas and get the floor painted, and then do a whole black wash on the entire thing. So I can take the windows back out and paint the beams if I want. And I'm trying to test fit the roof. I know the roof fits because I already test fit it. But anyway, you get the idea. And then these roof panels up here, the tar paper will be black. And when you look inside, it looks like it's all painted and has some detail in there. So I will do more on this as I progress and keep you posted. Okay, everybody. The paint on the roof is still wet, and on the vents. As soon as all that dries, then I'll give this thing a wash of black. Well, I may wait until I get the doors on. That would be a good idea. But nevertheless, let's open it up here. You see how the beams turned out. I got to get the lights put in, of course. But if you look in through the door, and it's awful bright in there, let me put the lid on. I kind of put the lid on, you can kind of see that it has some kind of structure inside. So far I'm happy with the way it turned out. I think it'll be fine on the layout. I'll take some pictures of it hopefully when I get that far, putting the doors on and stuff. Okay, everybody. Oh, trying to bend down on the floor. I finished it up, with the exception of putting lighting in and with the exception of the windows along here, which I'm going to do last. But that's what she looks like with the doors in place and the stucco job and the roof and vents done. And I can turn it around for you. Once I get the lights installed, I'll probably put the screws back in it just to hold it all together better. And I won't worry about showing you anything about the lights and the interior detail until I get it back on the layout. But let me see here if I can get the light down a little bit. Now you can kind of see inside. I like the look. It'll fit in with the southwestern area and not look so Japanish, I guess you would say. I like it so far. We'll take a look at it next when it's on the layout. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that modification of the Kato Roundhouse. Like I say, the next time we see it, we'll see it on the layout, and hopefully I'll be able to show you the details inside when I get done with all of that and the lighting. And next up, I'm going to tackle the turntable. So I'm kind of planning on maybe doing the same thing here. However, we're going to be indisposed for a little while at the convention, so I don't know when I'll get to that. But anyway, as usual, gang, thanks for watching. Wow, I painted my finger.